What's up, family? It's your boy Joe Boss. This is episode 12. Private Wins Build Public Strength. We're going to get started with a little bit of music from the homie Jackie Hill Perry. Y'all know what it is. Stay tuned, stay blessed. Joe Boss Radio.
So, Jackie Hill Perry.
Always got something to say.
That girl is lost.
Hey, load it up, Boski.
Yeah. 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 Tell them what you wanted. Tell them you want nothing. Tell them you want something that your money could not summons. Tell them about your body. Tell them ain't no hobby. Tell them you ain't thirsty, living water. Yeah, you got it. I can tell you like to party. Tell you get the jiggy when the midgets hit that body. Girl, they sleeping on you, Jesus know you, so you got it. Why you talking messy? They ain't no face to spin that gossip. When I speak that gospel, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that. Yeah, I ain't scared about that. I ain't worried about that. Wayne said, G's move in silence like lasagna. Got 4 babies in their case, he call me Donda. Some people hate me, others love me, I'm a genre. Calm your nerves, got them birds tweaking tough, they just Madonnas. I ain't tripping off it, I ain't skipping, toss it. I am not a gymnast, I ain't flipping off it. I am winter boss, ain't buying what you thought is wisdom. I ain't with your boss, I'm iron riches, foster giant. This Goliath, mighty tiny, y'all be about that. I ain't worried about that. Yeah. I ain't scared about that. I ain't worried about that. I ain't scared about that. Yeah. This the place to throw rocks and high hands. Feeling like Medusa. Say it to my face, tongues crazy like Azusa. Lucifer used the bruise to make me bleed. The blood, it made me priest. The lowest valley made me reach my hand out. I'm just trying to help you. God ain't from Chicago. He ain't want to step to. R. Kelly got y'all ready peddling pedophiles at y'all weddings. It's Armageddon, I get it, I'm meddling. This medicine for the cold-hearted. Warming up, shooting 3-pointers from rose gardens. Planting seeds deep enough to see if it grows larger. You ain't deep enough to see if it's pros or puns. The sun rose daughters, and it ain't even Easter. Pastels don't cover blood, they just make it neater. The bunny just another way to make money off Jesus. Strutting in my Adidas, 3 stripes, was it Peter? Yeah, why you confused about the word systemic? I read Genesis and I ain't see you in it. But here you are, acting different, steady sinning. You a sinner, cause another person did it. It's a system you inherited. Married to power like you was Harriet. Family matters, better cherish it, but we embarrassing.
Let me tell you 2 things you can do to deal aggressively with sin. Number 1, increase your love for the Lord Jesus Christ. Through prayer, through devotion, through reading, through worship. Increase your love for the Lord Jesus Christ. The more you love Him, the harder it becomes to sin against Him, because you don't want to keep hurting someone that you love. So increase your love for Him.
Y'all know what it is, man. Rise Up Worldwide. We are in the building with Joe Boss Radio. Listen, we're about to have a good time, man. I hope y'all ready for an action-packed show. We've got a lot of things to share with you. And listen, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Let's get the backroom, get the background music queued up so we can get things going, man. Because this episode, I think you're really gonna enjoy it. We're gonna talk about private wins build public strength, and I'm gonna give you guys just a few minutes to get logged in. I know that there has been a lot of different things going on, countries at war, but all we can do is control the variables that we can control, and everything else just has to fall fall by the wayside. All right. So listen, if you've been feeling stuck, inconsistent, or like you're trying to get stronger, but life just keeps pulling you in 10 directions, this episode is definitely for you. All right. Because tonight we're going to talk about something that changes everything. Private wins build public strength. All right. Make sure you share this on your timeline. Make sure you share this and save it with whoever, wherever, whoever needs to hear it. Because listen, all we're trying to do is grow on this channel. All we want to make sure we do is help everybody win. All right. That's how we make things happen. We make things happen in a way to help everybody win. All right. So listen, episode 12, Private Wins Build Public Strength. And I'm using the framework that I live by, which is the moment, the meaning, the mirror, and the mandate. So we're tying it in to my 7 M's, which 3 of them are going to be mastery, manhood, and money. Because your private life affects how you lead, how you love, how you react under pressure, and how you handle money. All right. So here's our scripture anchor for today. Proverbs 4:23. It says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That means your private heart determines your public life. All right. So let's get into it. So here's the moment. All right. I've been reminded lately that who you are in private shows up in public every time, right? Sometimes it shows up in the way you talk to your family when you're tired. Sometimes it shows up with how you handle pressure. Sometimes it can show up whether you just keep your word, right? These things are important. They really are. They're really important because how you handle these things matters. And it made me realize that if I don't have peace in private, I can't bring peace in public. Because yes, ministry isn't always a microphone. A lot of times it's presence. And presence comes from what you've practiced when nobody was watching. All right. A lot of times I've had an opportunity to help people through when I was driving Uber, which I'm not doing that anymore. But a lot of times when I was driving Uber, I would have an opportunity to talk to people in private to really help them, right? It doesn't matter if I'll ever see them again. I know that at that moment, I had an opportunity to either share the gospel or just share some encouragement and hope. You don't know what people are going through, and your words could be the difference between saving their life, maybe someone else's life. You really have no idea, because it can really just have an effect that, how can I say this? It can have an effect that can really massively help them or massively hurt them, right? So why do you want to hurt them? All right. So and that moment just reminded me how my private discipline became a public impact. Because if I wasn't praying in private, if I wasn't praying and fasting in private, and I wasn't focusing on my time with God, I would not have recognized those opportunities. All right. So here's the meaning, right? You see, we want these public results without the private reps. Think about that, right? Every great player you've ever seen in every sport we want confidence, but we don't build receipts. We want peace, but we don't slow down. And we want better money, but we don't want to learn, right? And that's why this theme matters, right? Because private wins build public strength. And I keep saying that, right? I know I keep bringing that back into the forefront, but I think it matters because Jesus even said something that hits hard. It was in Matthew 6:6, right? He said, when you pray, go into your room, close the door, right? What's that? They close the door. Close the door. I said close the door, right? But that's not just about prayer. That's about formation, about who you're becoming when nobody claps, right? And in James 1:22 says, be doers of the word, not hearers only, right? So that private obedience will create that public stability, right? And I've learned the hard way that the more time I spend with God privately, the more things just tend to work out publicly, right? All right, so with that said, I'm going to break into a quick video because we run commercials now on this show. Right? So we want to make sure that as we run these things that we really make it work, right? So this one is a skit that I made, and it's real simple. It's called Earn What You Learn, right? So let me share it with you, and then when we get back, we'll talk about it some more. So let me get to it. Here we go. You can't earn what you want to earn. I'm trying to make big money, like a lot. Love that. What's your plan? I don't know. I just want the money. I don't really want to learn all that finance stuff. That mindset is exactly how people make money and then lose it fast. How? Money is money. Well, money has rules. If you don't learn them, you'll keep paying the ignorance tax. High interest debt, bad car notes, lifestyle creeping, no savings, no protection, and money leaks you can't even see. So I can't be rich unless I'm a finance nerd? No, just financially literate. You only need 4 basics: track where your money goes, kill high interest debt, build an emergency fund, and protect your income and family through things like life insurance and retirement planning. That sounds like work. Either you do the work or money will work you. And when life hits, job loss, sickness, emergencies, no plan feels like a punishment. All right, what's the first step? Comment money, and I'll send you a quick 1-page starter plan, and we can set up a quick appointment. All right? All right. So let's get back to the situation. I'm here to tell you about Christ and his demonstration. Look, I'm about to drop bars on y'all. So listen. All right, that was a quick break, man. And this connects perfectly, talking about earn what you learn, right? Because a lot of money stress comes from one thing: we never learned, right? And you can't win privately if you refuse. You can't win privately if you refuse to learn privately, right? So I ran that skit, and the skit, like I said, it's called Earn What You Learn, right? And since we're back, like I said, the skit is really the truth, because wisdom is earned. Now let's get into the mirror part of the show, right? In the mirror time, this is part of your real life, right? And I need you to think about this. What private habits do you have that are quietly sabotaging your public goals? Think about that. What are the private habits that you have that are quietly sabotaging your public goals, right? And listen, for me, my habit that I know is I'm slow, right? I can do things kind of at my own pace when I need to kind of rush through things, right? That's one of the things that I need to focus on. All right. Number 2, what do I keep saying I want, but I'm not practicing? This is good, right? What are you saying you want to do, but you're not actually working towards it? Are you saying that you want to have a lot of money, but you're not actually focusing on how money works? Are you saying that you want a promotion at your job, but you're not stepping up to do the extra things that'll get you noticed? Or are you not learning the skills or acquiring the license or going for the degrees that you need to get to where you want to go? Because there's a lot of things that people talk about them doing, but when the rubber meets the road, are you actually moving in that direction? So again, what do you keep saying but not practicing? All right. Number three, what do I avoid in private that keeps showing up as pressure in public? Hmm, what could that be? Right? What are you avoiding in private? Is it dealing with a past hurt? Is it dealing just with your current bills and you say, I don't want to look at the mail? Is it, are you avoiding going to the gym because you're embarrassed about how you look? Right? Well, you got to get there so that you can change it, right? If you're overweight, but you're not actually showing up to the gym or showing up to the track or walking around the block, you're not moving, right? Don't let that outside pressure stop you from your growth, right? So, what you do, try not to avoid things in private that will slow down your pressure. And number four, if somebody followed you for a day, would they see consistency or excuses? Mm, think about that. Would they see consistency or would they see excuses? That's a tough one, right? That's a tough one. And that's okay. Because here's a scripture to help you out. Psalm 139, 23 and 24 says, search me, O God, and lead me. Search me, O God, and lead me. Right? That's a grown man praying right there. Right? And here's the simple truth. You can't heal what you won't face. Because since you're asking God to search me, you're saying, God, what are these things that are in me that are holding me back? Search me, God, and then lead me out of this state of confusion. Lead me out of the situation that is not working, right? That's that private time and working and spending time with God that will lead to a public promotion, all right? You can't heal what you won't face. All right. You've got to face whatever it is. And I can tell you that private time reveals itself publicly, right? For me, one thing for me this week, I was just promoted to high blue belt, right? My next belt after this, after high blue belt, will be red. Red is the belts that come before black, right? So your boy's moving up, right? But that doesn't happen if I don't spend the time to practice, right? I have to practice my pumses, right? In other martial forms, they call it katas. But essentially, it's a prearranged set of movements used against an imaginary opponent, right? Which shows me kind of how the moves would feel in real life if I had to use them, right? Dancers would call it choreography, right? Because you're learning how to use some of these things in real life by learning how to do it in a choreographed manner so that you can continue to grow, right? And the more you learn, the more you move up. So I was promoted this last Saturday to high blue belt, which is a major accomplishment, right? In all my life, always wanted to learn some type of martial arts, right? And now I have the opportunity to do so, right? Not only am I doing it, it's helping me lose weight, get in shape. My body has more flexibility because I'm facing something that was holding me back. All right. And that's really a big thing, right? Because if you don't face your giants, if you don't face the things that are trying to hold you back, even the people that are trying to hold you back, and let's be honest, it happens. What can you do? You're not going to grow, so you got to face it. All right. So listen, we're going to take a brief second. I'm going to put up something that I want you guys to see. Hold on. Let's see if we can set this up where to do it properly. There we go. There we go. Listen, donate now. All right. You can donate on Cash App, Joe money sign Joe Bosch Radio, or you can do it on Zelle, right? Zelle. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? It all goes to the same place, and you will continue to help the ministry grow, the radio show grow, and what we do grow. All right? Make sure y'all donate. Listen, we appreciate you, right? I'm not asking you to go as far as to call it a tithe, but listen, show some love. Show some love, right? We need you. We need you here. We need you to help us out and do what we got to do so that we can continue like we're doing it for TV. All right. So let's continue on, right? So here's the mandate now, right? This is your private win over the next 24 hours, right? This is stacking wins increases your confidence. I'm going to say it again. If you stack your small wins, it will increase your confidence, right? So pick one thing to do for 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes, you could pick one thing. It could be 10 minutes of prayer and stillness. It could be 10 minutes of reading. It could be 10 minutes of planning your day, 10 minutes of just stretching or training, or 10 minutes of learning something about money, right? Because the more time you spend on these areas of growth, the more wins you have, right? If you took the time to 10 minutes to plan your day, how much more productive would you be? If you took 10 minutes to have prayer time with God and really listen to him, how much more would you feel that you're confident in hearing his instructions for you to go? If you took 10 minutes of just reading, whether it's the Bible or whether it's a book towards your craft, do you not feel that you'll be more confident in either knowing the word or more confident in knowing your craft? And of course, if you took 10 minutes of stretching and training, your body's going to feel better, right? Or 10 minutes of just learning something about money, right? I know there's a lot of people that don't like to talk about money. And the reason is because they don't understand it. People fear what they don't understand. And I'm going to promote and push you to learn that one, right? Do 20 minutes, 10 minutes of something else, and 10 minutes of learning about how money works. Because I promise you, if you don't know how money works, somebody who does will use it against you and you won't even know. You won't even know. All right. So let's stack in these private wins so that we continue to grow. Now, here's a scripture, right? Here's a scripture to back that up. Galatians 6:9 says, do not grow weary in doing good. Do not grow weary in that. Here's why. Consistency is a good thing. Therefore, consistency is the seed for growth. If you consistently train, you will be stronger and faster. If you consistently read, you will become smarter. If you consistently pray and spend time with God, you will grow in your ability to hear from him clearer. All right. That's how that works. That's how that works. All right. So listen, let's get into another quick commercial before we end out this episode, right? This next episode or commercial, I should say, is going to be talking about planning the rest of your life, right? I know you're like, what? Why are you getting so deep today? Because I had to. I absolutely had to, because I need you guys to understand that growth is important, right? Financial growth, spiritual growth, business growth, personal growth, all of it matters, right? So before we hit the money segment, remember tax season, planning, and why life insurance matters, right? So that's why I want to run one more Rufus skit. You're coming up near the end of tax season. You got about a week left to get your things in order, or at least to file an extension. And listen, we now have connections at Rise Up Financial Agency, which is my other business, where we can help you get your taxes done. Doesn't matter what state you're in. We have a connection to help you get it done. All right. Yes, we are growing. We are expanding. All right. And the reason I'm bringing all of this up, because listen, getting your taxes done on time is handling your money. That's a private win. Because tonight is about private wins, and planning is a private win. All right. So let's get to this skit, and let's go from there. Here we go. Let's get to it. There we go.
Plan the rest of your life starting today. Man, I'm gonna get my life together one day. Cool. Quick question. What happens if life happens before one day? I mean, I'm healthy. I'll handle it later. That's the trap. Planning isn't about fear. It's about love and responsibility. Life insurance is one of the simplest ways to protect the people who depend on you. I don't really like thinking about death. Me either. But without a plan, your family could be stuck with bills they can't cover, a sudden drop in income, and fundraisers and stress on top of grief. So, what do I do? You don't need a perfect plan, you need a starting plan. Pick a budget you can live with, choose coverage that protects your family's basics, and lock it in while you're younger and healthier, then adjust it later. Is it expensive? Not always. The real cost is waiting, because the longer you wait, the more expensive it can get. And if health changes, options can shrink. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So comment plan, and we'll set up a quick appointment to set up a simple life plan starting today.
All right, all right. So now let's get back to the situation. Here to tell you about Christ and his demonstration. Listen, so here we go, man. Again, back into that skit specifically, man. Planning your life, it really does start today. If you do not have a plan for the next 5 to 10 years, you're behind. And the reason I'm gonna tell you you're behind, because the people that are winning, they have a plan in place, right? No matter where they are planning out the next 5 years of their life at minimum. Because sometimes if you can plan something and execute, a lot of times your wins will happen faster than what you plan, right? Because planning a lot of times just requires you to map out steps that you can take. And that's where a lot of people fail. They don't do it. They don't do it. So plan the rest of your life starting today. All right. And like I said, this is the money segment of the show. And this right now, this show, we're talking about tax season and life insurance. All right. Because it is tax season. And what tax season does is two things. It forces you to look at reality, right? It gives some people a temporary window to make a smart move. So here's the connection. A private win is you handling protection before you need it, right? That's the main thing. You're handling your protection before you need it, right? And most men think about protection as I got a weapon if somebody breaks into the house, right? And that is a form of protection. But what happens if you become really sick from COVID or some other type of disease and you don't make it? How are you protecting your family beyond your presence, right? If your family is only protected during your presence, your family is not really protected, because all they have to do is separate you from your family, whether it just be time and distance or through, loss of life. You've got to protect what's important. So it's big. So if something happens to me, does my family get a check or do they get a problem? Think about that. But usually a small monthly fee, your family can get a check that can not only take care of your final expenses, but can help push them forward towards the next goal, right? Like imagine this. Imagine two situations, right? Family A has their breadwinner pass away suddenly, right? And instead of getting a life insurance policy, what they get is they find out that their breadwinner didn't do anything, didn't have any type of protection, didn't have any income saved. All he did was just work and pay bills, right? Now, what's going to happen? Because sometimes it may be a situation where the spouse doesn't work, can't work, or just can't produce at the same level, right? So now their lifestyle is going to change because you're not there. The home that they're in, they're probably going to have to move or sell because they may not be able to afford it. And your final, your final resting experience, your funeral, is not going to be the honorable thing that it should be because they may not have the money, right? So you're dishonoring your own legacy. You're not protecting your family, and you're not doing the things that you need to do to provide that level of protection beyond your presence. All right. So here's the main point. Planning beats panic, right? Because most people don't plan, they just panic and they just do, right? But grown man leadership says, I'm gonna handle this before it's a problem. I'm gonna have a plan in place before the problem happens. All right, that's the first point. Here's the second point. Refund season can be a window of opportunity for you. Now, I'm not telling anybody what to do with the refund. You do what's best for your house. But if you've been putting life insurance off, this season can be the moment that you finally start. Because you have to look at your finances when you do your taxes. How much money do you have coming in? How much debts do you have? How much taxes are you paying? Right? Life insurance can help you with all of those, right? So the point three is that life insurance is protection. It's not hype, right? Final expenses, your rent or mortgage, debt, your kids going to school. It gives your family time to grieve without the chaos. That's what protection look like. That's what it looks like. All right. And I'm going to give you some wisdom behind it from Proverbs. Proverbs 13:22 says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right? If you don't have the money right off the top of your head, which most of us don't, insurance can be that gap filler for your children's children. Imagine if you're young, you can buy $1 million policy for pennies on the dollar. You might pay 40, 50, 60 bucks a month if you're young, right? And something happens to you, right? You have the peace of mind knowing that your family now will have $1 million policy that they can not only build their family, but now that same money goes to recognize the legacy of you. Your family will be able to honor you, saying that, wow, he really took care of us when we in the worst situation. That's legacy right there, right? And again, just to be clear, this is not tax advice. We don't offer tax advice here, but we do have tax professionals that we can refer you to that you can talk and get your situations together. All right. This is just protection talk. All right. So if you want a simple review, please reach out to us at Rise Up Financial Agency on IG, Facebook, YouTube. You can contact us. Right. And again, there's no pressure, just clarity. Right. We'll look at what you need, what fits your budget, and get you covered properly. All right. So, family, episode 12, Private Wins Build Public Strength. Guard your heart, practice your reps, win in private. All right. You can stand strong in public by putting the work in private. So if this blessed you, please share it with one person. Subscribe, follow, leave a comment. And if you want to support the show, the donation link is there. We aired that a little bit ago. But again, until next time, in the words of Dr. Reverend Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive and keep rising. All right. I will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Y'all have a good night.